Welcome to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited, and happy Shouter Baptist Day to Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. Prime Minister says great economic benefits to the nation from the latest oil discovery. Trinidad and Tobago and Chile sign historic agreement. And in our sport feature, we continue to look at government's elite athlete program ahead of the London 2012 Olympics. Thank you for joining us to our top story. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says citizens can look forward to brighter days ahead. The Prime Minister gave the assurance on the heels of the latest oil discovery by state-owned oil company Petrotrin. The Prime Minister says this latest find can meet great economic benefits to Trinidad and Tobago. John Victor has more in this report.
The nation stands to benefit from a new oil find of about 48 million barrels from the Soldado Marine oil field. This according to Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar at Thursday's post-cabinet news conference. The find is as a result of ramped-up oil exploration by the state-owned company Petrotrin. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar says this time around, each and every citizen's life should be positively impacted.
As a result of the Jubilee discovery by Petrotrin, as a state-owned company, decisions can be made faster and easier, and you can be assured that there will be no squandering of these very precious resources, but every penny derived will go towards genuine people-centered development in several areas. So what does it now mean for the man in the street, for the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago? In a phrase, if I may sum it, I would say, better times in the best of initiatives that will benefit you, the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago.
This latest oil discovery coincides with this country's 50th anniversary of independence and is being dubbed the Jubilee Discovery, something Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar says should be celebrated by all nationals.
I wish to convey my congratulations to Petrotrin on this important discovery and the recording of a milestone in energy production in Trinidad and Tobago. As a state-owned organization, your title, Jubilee Discovery, is a fitting tribute to the patriotism each of us feels as we will celebrate our 50 years of nationhood this year. This golden anniversary year is indeed marked by your significant find, as oil is often referred to as black gold.
Energy Minister Senator Kevin Ramnarine added that further exploration is carded to take place in the near future.
We also wait at the ministry with bated breath for the completion of Petrotrin's 3D seismic study, 3D seismic program, which was completed in March of 2011. This seismic will help identify bypass oil within the currently producing horizons and also holds the key to unlock more resources in deeper horizons on land. This will inform and lead to a very aggressive drilling campaign on land in 2013 that will further see the potential to increase oil production.
The discovery comes on the heels of the recently announced Bayfield find off the east coast of Trinidad some 3 weeks ago. According to the Prime Minister, it is an occasion for celebration and thanksgiving.
I think it is important to recognize and acknowledge that this just did not happen by accident or just good fortune. Let us first of all be sure to accept with humility the intervention of a purpose far greater than ourselves, and to give praise where praise is first due to Almighty God for what He has bestowed upon this nation at this time.
Petrotrin's acting president, Khalid Hassan Ali, says he expects the new discovery to reap great economic benefits for the country. John Victor, News 4.
When we come back, Petrotrin's acting president says the new oil find will help to increase local production margins.
Natasha, and like most Trinbagonians, I love the beach. The beach can be fun, but we have to be tsunami smart and know the warning signs. You're at the beach and you feel the earth shake. Run. You see the water moving an unusual distance out from the shore. Run. You hear a strange roar from the sea. Run. If you experience any of these warning signs, run to higher ground. be tsunami smart, and know the natural warning signs. They could save your life.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management, United States Agency for International Development, Caribbean Disaster and Emergency Management Agency, UWI Seismic Research Center, and the European Union.
Never leave items like MP3 players, portable DVD players, laptops and briefcases on view inside your vehicle. It is an open invitation for a thief. Don't leave them on show. If you cannot take them with you, place them in the trunk of your car. Remember, crime prevention is everyone's business. A message from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Welcome back. Petrotrin's acting president Khalid Hassan Ali says the profitable mix of heavy and light crude oil could mean big things for both the energy sector and downstream industries in Trinidad and Tobago. This comes after the news of this country's latest oil find in the Soldado field. Verna Barath has more.
Some 48 million barrels of crude oil were discovered in shallow water wells just off the coast of Point Fortin last year, according to Petrotrin's acting president Khalid Hassan Ali.
Petrotrin formally announces the discovery of significant new oil reserves that will be a major economic factor for Trinidad and Tobago and a benefit to Trinidad and Tobago. During an aggressive and successful campaign of exploration and appraisal drilling over the past year, a discovery has been confirmed of new reserves with preliminary estimates at 48 million barrels of oil in an area in the eastmostern part of Petrotrin's Soldado acreage in the Gulf of Paria, surrounding what is known otherwise as Cluster 6. Hydrocarbon crude oil deposits were encountered in several reservoirs at depths ranging between 4,000 and 4,500 feet in 4 out of 5 wells drilled. Such wells were actually produced and tested up to 700 barrels of oil per day of both heavy and the very valuable light crude oil. In fact, the light crude oil is of API gravity 31 degrees, as it's called.
Petrotrin's acting president says the combination of light and heavy crude oil was good news for the state-owned Point Pear refinery. He announces that the find will also increase the local production profit margins.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may recall that the average well on land produces less than 10 barrels of oil per day, and the average marine well produces less than 75 barrels of oil per day. By comparison, the wells that we tested at initial production rates at an impressive 700 barrels per day. Let's have a look at the samples. This is generally referred to as heavy oil. Yes, I'll get there. And this one, light oil. Now I'm going to shake it a bit, as our chairman is. You don't want to spill it. Yes, you see it doesn't flow very well. And look at the light oil. Yes, that's right. As you know, the light oil is much more valuable because it produces in the refinery the very valuable lighter products like gasolines, aviation fuel, kerosene, naphtha, and the light. Diesel as well.
Mr. Hassan Ali says the refinery capacity stood at 150,000 barrels per day, but only 50,000 came from local fields. He says production should begin within 1 year.
This find, even on preliminary assessment, represents the largest for Petrotrin over the last 10 years. An extensive testing and evaluation program is currently underway and will confirm the future of the area in terms of producing a development plan. Although full development usually takes between 3 and 5 years, we intend to commence production of the wells that have already been drilled within the next 12 months. Because as I said, they actually were tested, they were actually producing, they're being tested right now, and they're actually flowing right now.
Verna Barath, News 4.
Trinidad and Tobago and Chile moved to strengthen diplomatic ties with the signing of a new agreement. The signing took place between the Chilean ambassador to this country, His Excellency Patricio Elgueta, and Trinidad and Tobago's Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Surajratan Rambachan. Verna Barath tells us more.
Foreign Affairs and Communications Minister Dr. Surajratan Rambachan engaged in a signing agreement with Chile, the authorization for dependents of diplomatic staff of diplomatic and consular missions to perform remunerated activities. The signing of the agreement took place between Trinidad and Tobago's Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Surajratan Rambachan and Chile's ambassador, His Excellency Patricio Elgueta. Dr. Rambachan says the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and the Republic of Chile have enjoyed years of mutually beneficial ties following the establishment of a Chilean embassy in Port of Spain some 7 years ago.
We have had a vibrant bilateral relationship between both countries, and this has been demonstrated in several ways. For example, the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding in the field of energy during the visit of the former President of Chile, various training programs offered to defense and security officials of the Ministry of National Security of Trinidad and Tobago, provision of language immersion courses to officials of the Immigration Division and, importantly, members of the teaching service, recent training of one of the ministry's very own Foreign Service officers in an international course in diplomacy, and a recent visit of a delegation from the International Cooperation Agency of Chile and the proposed diplomatic seminar entitled Chile CARICOM, Developing Common Agendas, to be held in Port of Spain.
The Honourable Minister explained the importance of such a signing agreement to Trinidad and Tobago. He adds that this country has consistently articulated its commitment to South-South cooperation with other countries such as Chile. He says this development shows that stronger connections are being developed between this country and other nations.
This agreement on the authorization for dependents of diplomatic, consular, technical, and administrative staff of diplomatic and consular missions to perform remunerated activities demonstrates the growing relationship between the government of the Republic of Chile and the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. This is a very important agreement, and one that I think is very necessary because it will facilitate the employment of dependents, namely spouses and dependent children of diplomatic agents and consular officers posted to the Embassy of Chile in Port of Spain, without being constrained by the existing national laws which seek to regulate the employment of foreigners in the Trinidad and Tobago labour market.
The Honourable Foreign Affairs Minister explained how beneficial the agreement is to Trinidad and Tobago in terms of the impact it will have on the family unit. This, he says, will be especially seen when even stronger ties with the Republic of Chile are developed in the near future.
The implementation of such an agreement will also allow dependents accompanying officers on posting to carry out their professional pursuits and consequently encourage the maintenance of the family unit. The signing of this agreement will also prove advantageous to the same categories of staff of Trinidad and Tobago's Foreign Service, should the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago embark on the opening of a mission in Chile. Trinidad and Tobago is determined to advance further in our already fruitful relations with the Republic of Chile, which is an economically strong country whose resilience and resolve were demonstrated as it quickly recovered after the global crisis of 2008-2009 and from the natural disasters experienced in 2010.
Dr. Rambachan boasts of the great benefits to be reaped by Trinidad and Tobago from this agreement and the other bilateral agreements with Chile that are yet to come.
Trinidad and Tobago is interested in collaborating with the Republic of Chile by the signing of not only this agreement, but other agreements in such critical areas as training and technical cooperation. So this is a very momentous occasion for us, and one that I know will go down in history as a green letter day in the affairs of both our countries.
His Excellency Patricio Alberto Pradel Elgueta, Ambassador of Chile, says he is happy to be part of the signing agreement, which he says demonstrates the strong ties shared between Trinidad and Tobago and the Republic of Chile.
We believe this agreement reflects the excellent relation existing between the two governments, which has resulted in an active bilateral agenda for the upcoming months that will begin with two seminar in Port of Spain, one For CARICOM members diplomats with professor from the Diplomatic Academy of Chile, Andres Bello, and sponsored by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Communication, and others related to the South-South cooperation.
Vuna Barath, News 4.
When News 4 continues, an aviation campus is proposed for central Trinidad. Stay with us.
Hi, my name is Anil and I've been a lifeguard for the past 7 years. This is my co-worker,
Ian, and I've been a lifeguard for more than 19 years now.
You know guys, these flotation devices that we love to take to the beach, we are here today to talk to you about these flotation devices.
These flotation devices are boogie board, ball, noodles.
Hey Ian, don't forget the inflatable rafts that you all love to bring to the beach. And all it feel is a water taxi, so everybody wants to jump up on it. Now this thing can be real unstable when too much of people on this.
And you know something, Anil? When they're on that, they're enjoying it and they're not realizing they're waiting all the way on the outside. Eventually, when they realize that and they're looking and they see that they are so far out at sea, they tend to jump out of the raft.
Yes, and most of them cannot swim, so we now have to run out there and rescue them. So our best advice to you is do not bring these flotation devices to the beach.
Welcome back. With plans by Caribbean Airlines to resume operations on its routes to the United Kingdom, comes word that government plans to establish the establishment of an aviation institute at Camden in Couva. Apart from its training component, the facility is also expected to supply support services to the airline industry. Tertiary Education Minister Senator Fazal Karim spoke about plans for the setting up of the aviation campus. John Victor reports.
Plans to establish an aviation school in Trinidad and Tobago are said to be in the pipeline. The move will assist in facilitating repairs and providing services to the Caribbean Airlines fleet, which is expected to be expanded by June this year.
The airline, I'm advised, should be acquiring 2 767s. And in the future, they also have intentions to acquire 777s. What does that mean as well for the aviation sector in Trinidad and Tobago? And we cannot afford, as the Ministry of Science, Technology and Tertiary Education, in terms of providing the human capacity. We cannot wait for these aircrafts to come and we say, well, we have a need for mechanics or avionic technicians and so on. The University of Trinidad and Tobago has been given the go-ahead, certainly by me and the Ministry, to examine the potential for the aviation campus and what kind of training we can start almost immediately.
Tertiary Education Minister Senator Fazal Karim says feasibility studies are currently being conducted, as well as discussions with Transport Minister Senator Devont Maraj. The Tertiary Education Minister added that talks with personnel from international aviation bodies have commenced.
We'll have to have discussions with the Minister of Transport and our ministry towards identifying and designing the request for proposals and so on, and go outside for tender and bids and whatever. So I'm saying that while we are doing that, in terms of the training aspect of it, we want to start that. And one is not contingent or dependent on, one will support the other. So when the feasibility is completed, and we know exactly what we have to do, because we will be able to train as well to supply the aircrafts and that are landing at Piarco International Airport and Tobago.
Minister Karim says currently the Candem Strip at Couva is being looked at as the venue for the aviation campus and will remove the need for locals to go abroad to study aircraft technology. John Victor, News 4.
Well, it's time now for our sports feature, where we bring you the third segment of our discussion on the Ministry of Sports Elite Athletes program. Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Sports, Ashwin Creed, traces the success of the program with Wayne Cunningham, and he also reveals his expectations for the country's medal prospects at the upcoming London Olympics.
The games of the 29th Olympiad in Beijing, China, saw Trinidad and Tobago come away with 2 silver medals, both garnered on the track. That success did not come instantaneously, but as a result of long-term planning. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sport, Mr. Ashwin Creed, explains.
The 4x1 team that won the medal in the Olympics, that medal just wasn't won like that. That was against the background of preparation that started since the Olympic Games in Australia, 2000. I remember meeting with Mr. Douglas Camacho and the officials of the Olympic Committee. And then we had a lot of young athletes who participated with Atto Boldon, if you remember, yes, in Sydney. Right, and it's for the first time since 1968 we were able to at least to get to the semi-final in the sprint relay, right? The oldest athlete at the time on the team was Atto Boldon. The rest of the athletes were all junior athletes. And if you realize from then on, there was a natural upward progression, because we then subsequently won a bronze medal in the Worlds in Canada, right? We won a silver medal again. I think was in France, right? And then come Beijing, and then the World Championships after that.
With the emergence of Kellyanne Batiste, Seymour Hackett, Pilla McShine, and Ayanna Hutchinson, as well as others, the women's program also has developed tremendously.
At that time, the women wasn't performing up to scratch, but again, you are seeing a progression now with the women, right? They were able to run fourth in the World Championships, right? I see no reason why they cannot medal. Once individually they're performing good, and as a team, why I can't see no reason why they can't medal in London next year, right? And also even with the individual athletes in terms of their progression.
There is an obvious link between the elite athletes program and that progression.
What I have seen from the elite athletes policy is there's an inextricable link between the elite athletes program and performance, right? From the time we started to invest in them, you see the performances going up. The question now is being able to sustain that, right? And then that comes back to the athlete themselves and the camp that they belong to.
We asked Mr. Creed for his expert opinion on our prospects for London 2012, and the outlook is good.
We may have athletes for the first time too, who would be qualifying for events that we never qualified for in life, in the history of the Olympics, right? Right? I mean, for example, I see Pilla McShine qualifying for the 800. I mean, her best time really, her PR is 2:02. So I don't see a reason why she can't run too flat. We may have more than one 400 hurdler qualifying this year. Not only J. Hugh Gordon, we have Emmanuel Myers, who also is on the brink of doing the 8 standard qualification for the games. But I can see either 3 or 4 athletes doing the qualifying standards in the 400 meters. And that will augur well for the 4x4 relay. So again, for the first time, we may see Trinidad and Tobago featuring in the men in the 4x4 relay. And then the last time we enjoyed that was in Barcelona with Ian Morris and Alvin Daniel, Patrick Daly, Neil De Silva, when they established a new national record.
The elite athletes are once again poised to put Trinidad and Tobago on the international stage when the Games of the 30th Olympiad is opened this coming July. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
After the break, a journey of faith. The country celebrates Shouter Baptist Liberation Day.
Informing and educating the nation, especially the young ones, about water, how it's won and processed, and how it should be protected are just a few of our major responsibilities here at the Public Education Center. The enjoyable learning environment, cultivating conservation habits, developing healthy relationships, and giving our public an appreciation of the environment in which we produce water. WASA's PEC, the region's only public education center on water.
Thank you for staying with us. The country observed spiritual Shouter Baptist Liberation Day on Friday, and despite the granting of a public holiday some 15 years ago to mark the occasion and the freedom to worship as they chose, members of the faith say they continue to find negative connotations that are widely held about their beliefs. We hear more on that in this report by Gregory Reyes.
A unique faith. That's how members of the Shouter Baptist of Trinidad and Tobago say their faith continues to be perceived by the public. While celebrations will be held over the weekend to commemorate its freedom of worship, elders of Spiritual Shouter Baptist community say the faith has come a long way. Queen Mother Ned of the faith said the members of the Spiritual Shouter Baptist were looking towards registering as a legitimate religion with international organizations.
The Spiritual Baptist Shouter movement becomes a legitimate religion. The first step being the registration of the faith with the U.S. Library of Congress, which is already done. The next step will be going to The Hague, where we will be fully registered and recognized as all other religions are. Our trust is principally to see our faith taking its rightful place among the other organizations in this country.
Mother Ned adds that members of the faith continue to make major strides in society, going beyond the stigma attached to followers of the belief and make valuable contributions to society.
Where we came from as a people who were not recognized among the more traditional elements of society, and as a people who have come a long way, as the hymn would say, in the hymn of Amazing Grace says, through many a dangers, toil and snares. We no longer carry such stigma as a set of illiterate people, workers of witchcraft, poor class, and idol worshippers, to a place where our members of the faith now have prominent positions both in the public and private sector. The Spiritual Baptist Shouter movement believe that we can contribute to the growth and development of the nation in a very significant way. To all our members, we say, continue to keep the faith alive as we come to that place where we recognize that though diverse in our operations, yet we stand singular as a people, for we believe in one God, one faith, and one baptism.
Members of the faith gathered at the National Library for celebrations aimed at educating the public and students.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of News 4 for this Friday. Here's an open invitation to join us every weekday right here on GISL 4. I'm Nicola Barito. Goodbye.